Hey everybody, Liz here. I am at home today. It is a incredibly rainy, cold fall day, and I thought I would take this time to talk to you about some of my mindfulness practices. The first of which I'm kind of partaking in. I'm making tea, or I've just made tea. So come along with me and I'll get into them in a little bit more detail. So the first mindfulness practice I want to talk to you about today is one that I've already talked about in my 4 strategies for managing a chronic illness video, and I'll try to link that in the cards if I can figure out how to do that, and certainly down below. And that is just the practice of asking myself the question, how am I feeling today? What are my predominant symptoms today? And just asking that question helps me kind of identify what are the needs I'm going to have to prioritize for that day. And that's something that I feel like is a very simple strategy, that just being aware of how you're feeling and what might be bothering you is vitally important. So that is the first strategy that I wanted to talk about. The second is not multitasking. So the practice of focusing on a single task, I guess I will say that, is kind of the second mindfulness strategy that I use to help me manage my chronic illnesses. And it really helps me identify when my body is giving me feedback. So it just provides an overall kind of atmosphere of awareness and self-awareness. It's an incredibly hard practice to implement, but it's been an incredibly beneficial one for me, especially in terms of reducing stress and anxiety, which are 2 emotions and feelings that make my symptoms worse. So I hope that helps. Another mindfulness practice that I want to talk to you about are some breathing exercises. So these breathing exercises for me really help reduce anxiety and stress in moments of stress. The first is my go-to is single nostril breathing. I think this has a specific name. I'll try to find it and describe it down below. But single nostril breathing is just what it sounds like. So you're gonna take your thumb or any finger you want, you're gonna plug one of your nostrils and inhale through one, and then close that one and exhale through the other. So it's just inhale through one, exhale through the other, inhale through one, exhale through the other. I do that 5 times, and then I switch inhaling through the other one and exhaling, and so you just reverse it. That helps really, really calm my body. Now, when I am having issues with inflammation, with sinus problems, with allergies or any of that, single nostril breathing isn't necessarily always available to me. So when there are symptoms that are manifesting in a way that create air blockages, I go to another sort of breathing practice. And this other breathing practice, I actually just realized as I was talking to you, I also use it when I'm driving. I find driving incredibly stressful. So the second breathing exercise that I do is to inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 5, and then exhale for a count of 7. Now you could choose any sort of number differential that you want there. You could inhale for a count of 5, hold for a count of 5, exhale for a count of 5. It could all be even, but I find I have a shorter inhale than I do exhale. So for me, I found a pattern of 4, 5, 7 works for me. You could do 3, 4, 5 if you want, whatever works for you. The idea is to inhale, to hold that inhale, and then to release the tension. So the inhaling itself builds tension, the holding builds tension, and then the exhale releases tension. And I sometimes, when I am doing this at the same time, I'm saying, let it go in my head. So yeah, those are the 2 breathing exercises that I kind of have found are my go-tos when I'm finding myself really tense, really achy. There's a lot going on in my body. My body is giving me the feedback that it is not happy right now. And they are just 2 exercises that help me relax. And I have discovered that when I can relax, it reduces the intensity of my symptoms. It does not make them go away. So another one of the strategies that I use to help myself be mindful is a really simple one. The only time I recommend you don't do this is probably when you're driving or in some sort of way moving your body from point A to point B, and that is I close my eyes. So if you deal with symptoms that just increase the intensity of the senses, whether it's skin touch with allodynia, ocular, auditory, I find that closing my eyes just reduces the amount of stuff that my brain is managing in the background, and it helps calm me. I find this to be incredibly helpful, especially when I am struggling and maybe having speech problems. If I close my eyes, I am more quickly able to say what I want to say in a more clear and concise fashion, because I am not dealing with the feedback of vision. So that's a strategy that I use fairly regularly when I'm dealing with heightened symptoms or heightened sensory symptom overload. And I don't know about others, and I'd love to hear in the comments below, do you deal with sensory overload, and what are some of your strategies that you've found help? Here comes Salem again. I'd really love to know, because anything that can help any of us is great. So another mindfulness practice that I engage in pretty regularly is meditation. I understand that meditation isn't for everyone. There are actually a few free apps that you can use that I have found to be really helpful. One is Calm and the other is Insight Timer. Both of those platforms have both paid subscription services but also free content. I in general have most of the time used the free content. Sometimes for me, it just helps me get out of the place that I'm in by putting in maybe a set of headphones and closing my eyes and listening to someone just tell me to breathe in and breathe out. But I also, even though I would say a couple years ago I started through using apps, I have had a meditation practice on and off for many years. I find meditation apps really helpful when the chatter in my mind is hard to shut off. And I find my goal with meditation is to quiet all of my senses and to quiet my chattery mind. I don't know if chattery is a word, but I'm liking it. So meditation is another strategy that I use. And even some of the techniques I've talked about already, the single nostril breathing, the breathing exercises, the closing of the eyes, those are actual meditative practices. They're mindfulness meditative practices. So a meditative practice, however that takes shape for you, may help you. Maybe it is you literally sit and you pet your cat. Maybe it is you sit and all you do is listen to music. Meditation can take on many, many forms. Maybe it means you go on a walk with nature alone with no sort of other auditory things like headphones or music playing. Maybe it means you go on a bike ride. Maybe it means you just listen to rain. There are so many ways meditation can help, and it really is just about focusing on one thing. So it kind of goes back to the not multitasking. So these are some of the practices and techniques that I use to help me manage my symptoms. A lot of these practices are about helping me calm myself down if I'm in a heightened state or I'm dealing with multiple kind of overload of the senses. But more importantly, they're just practices that help me maintain awareness of what is going on in my body, especially when we live in such a fast-paced world. So I hope you found these helpful. I've really enjoyed kind of talking about them, and please leave some comments down below. Let me know what practices you use or techniques you use to help kind of manage your symptoms that are kind of in the mindfulness realm. I know there's lots of other things we all do to help manage our symptoms, but I'm really interested in what others are doing in case they might help me or others. So please let me know in the comments down below. As always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you actually get notified when I upload a new video. And of course, remember to take care, and it's about the journey. Thank you so much. Bye.